Hey, good morning. Happy Thursday. Waking up under mostly clear skies this morning. A few storms behind Hillary over here. These showers and storms moving in off the Atlantic. Not a concern for us this morning. This afternoon, though, we'll be tracking a few afternoon showers and storms.
Here's a live look at downtown Tampa, 275 and MLK Boulevard. So you have the city skyline right here. Southbound traffic still looking great. We have no crashes yet.
New documents on the months leading up to little Jordan Belliveau's death. Those documents detail just how bad things were for that toddler. And we're learning more about the actions or inactions of Broward County Deputy Scott Peterson during the Parkland school shooting. It is Thursday, guys. Just one day left till Friday. I was going to say one day left to the weekend. That would be really mean of me.
Yeah. That's what it feels like to me. I feel like it should be Friday.
Yeah, Friday Eve,
Getting
right?
close. It is Thursday, September 6th. You're up with Brightside. This morning, we are continuing to look through newly released documents by child protective investigators. The details paint a clear picture of why 2-year-old Jordan Belliveau was likely placed into the foster care system when he was just months old. Brightside reporter Josh Shadorowitz is live with what we're finding this morning. And Josh, some of those reports are things that a little boy should never have seen.
Oh gosh, no, Allison. We're talking everything from drugs to guns to gang activity even inside the home where he was living. It's all detailed here in the pages and pages of reports that we have got. But before we do take too deep of a dive into this, I did want to show you something here because this is the growing memorial for little baby Jordan here. People have been coming to place teddy bears and flowers and balloons. This is the spot, of course, where his body was discovered on Tuesday. Made all the more heartbreaking when you do read some of what this boy went through at such a young age. 10 News obtaining nearly a dozen reports since October of 2016 against Jordan Belliveau's mother and father. The most recent from just days before little Jordan's disappearance when a caseworker apparently went to check on him and his mom. Prior to that, though, investigators detail a home that was frequented by gang members and felons. One summary from a caseworker even said the home had been shot up 3 times in the past. Clearly no home suitable for a child. Caseworkers describe it using words like filthy and disgusting with no food, while Jordan's parents, quote, use marijuana and cocaine all the time. Unfortunately for Jordan's foster parents, it is information they were all too familiar with, which is why they say they fought so very hard to try to keep him.
We're devastated by his loss. But for a court order, he would still be safe in our home. Ultimately, we have hope that our painful loss will result in a fundamental re-examination of the entire system.
Now, Jordan lived with his foster family from January of 2017 to May of just this year, and a caseworker apparently checked on Jordan and his mother, his biological mother, just 2 days before his death, and according to police, they found no concerns. Back here live, we know a lot of you have been asking, in particular on Facebook, why it took so long for Jordan to be removed from his biological mother in the first place. Allison, that is among the many things that we are going to be working on trying to answer here today.
Yeah, a lot of questions out there. And another big question that we're seeing a lot of, Josh, is where is the Department of Children and Families in this case?
So the way it works is a little convoluted. DCF is the state's child welfare system, right? But in Pinellas here, at least, the Child Protective Services are actually dealt with by the Sheriff's Office. In Jordan's case in particular, had actually been subcontracted out to an organization called Directions for Living, and then they work with those at-risk families, and ultimately their findings wind up in the hands of DCF. So it's quite a chain to get that report into DCF's hands here.
Yeah, we just need people protecting our children. If you want to go to the community gathering with Jordan Belliveau's family and Largo Police, at the last minute they changed that to today so you can attend. It will be at the Largo Sports Complex on McMullen Road in Largo at 5 o'clock. We're going to stay on top of this story for you. We're going to get you some answers. Make sure you download our free 10 News app. We will update you on this tragic story. And sadly, Jordan wasn't the only toddler that was killed over the weekend. Lakeland police are investigating the murder of a toddler the same age as Jordan. The person who detectives say killed this 2-year-old was supposed to be taking care of him. Jamal Carson admitted to doing the unimaginable. Police say punching, throwing, and stomping on 2-year-old Micaiah Laster, his injuries ultimately killing him. Police say Carson was the best friend of the little boy's mom. She asked him to take care of Micaiah about 2 weeks before Carson is accused of killing the young boy in this Lakeland home.
A fractured skull, a fractured pelvis, multiple broken bones. Obviously that child died a very terrible death. He basically said the kid was crying, and he was trying to get the kid to stop crying and fussing.
Carson's grandfather didn't want us to use his name, but says he suffers from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Carson needed help, the grandfather says, and he should have never been caring for a child. Police say they're still investigating the case. They have not ruled out charges against the mother. Thursday morning, Grant. Not too bad. It's humid out, though. I was going to say it's not too bad, but yes.
Yeah, well, at least it's not raining.
Thick.
You know, you're
That's a
right,
good
though.
point.
I mean, it might as well be raining at this point, right? You know, real humid air this morning. We do have actually relatively dry air just above the Earth's surface, which is going to help keep the sunshine around through the first part of the day. So you know what that means? Heat and humidity today, because the sunshine is going to be warming us up pretty quickly. Clear skies, a few scattered storms off the East Coast. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes, but the first start to our day, good looking weather. Temperatures in Lakeland, 73. St. Pete, a little warmer now at 80, 79 degrees in Tampa. So sunshine to take us through the first part of our Thursday. We'll see a 20% chance for an isolated shower through lunchtime, and then building that chance of rain as we go into the second half of our afternoon. 30 to 40% chance of rain today with high temperatures right around 92 degrees. The tropics are active. No changes really, aside from the fact that now we have a major hurricane out there out over the middle of the Atlantic, Hurricane Florence, and now it's looking like it could impact the east coast of the U.S., if not directly, potentially indirectly. So we'll break down that forecast and talk about our weekend forecast in just a few minutes. Hillary?
Hey, Grant, it is 5:06, and if you saw the moon on your drive to work this morning, or if you're just up and can go outside to see it, it's smiling in the sky. It's like a
nice little
crescent moon. Yeah,
nice.
It's really pretty. All right, this is a live look at 275 and MLK Boulevard, downtown Tampa off in the distance. Your travel time is 15 minutes from the apex at I-75 and then down to I-4, so not seeing any delays there, although that is a section of interstate that gets very busy for rush hour. And then here's a look at the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. I noticed a bit of a delay northbound right on the Dick Meisner Bridge before getting off at Pinellas Point Drive. Now it looks like speeds are back to normal, so that could have even been a false read. Your travel time is still 16 minutes, and that's between 75 and Manatee County north to Pinellas Point Drive.
The Marjory Stoneman Douglas School Safety Commission is meeting again today. During yesterday's session, we learned new details about Broward County Deputy Scott Peterson's actions and inactions. We found out Peterson was at the entrance to the freshman building as the shooter was murdering people inside, and the deputy chose to retreat rather than engage.
I think we got shots fired. Hostile shots fired.
It is an uncompromising and disturbing look at the actions of Broward Sheriff's Deputy and School Resource Officer Scott Peterson. It's surveillance video that we see Peterson along with graphics of what was unfolding in the freshman building at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School on February 14th.
As the suspect steps into the hallway, he immediately opens fire.
A Broward Sheriff's detective showed the Stoneman Douglas Commission a side-by-side view along with police radio calls of how Peterson is believed to have made it to the outside of the freshman building as confessed killer Nicholas Cruz was still on the first floor of the building.
So if Peterson had gone through the door, he would have encountered the shooter.
Entirely possible.
Cruz had already begun his killing spree, but commission members and the chair wonder how many lives could have been saved if Peterson acted right away.
As Cruz was moving down the hallway, Peterson was standing at the door, and either at the time or just before he shot twice, Peterson was standing at that door.
As Cruz prepared to head to the second floor of the building, and he eventually made it to the third floor where he shot and killed 6 people. Video shows Peterson retreating to a safe place a short distance away.
Peterson fled back over to the 7-8 building as opposed to going in and chasing him up the stairs and shooting him.
Max Schachter's son Alex died in the shooting. He believes Peterson owes the commission and the community some answers.
Why didn't he go in? He could have done something. Why did he go away and hide? He could have saved those 6 kids' lives on the 3rd floor. Why?
Peterson faced other criticism as well. Bob Gualtieri, the Pinellas County Sheriff, questioned why Peterson did not communicate immediately with the Broward Sheriff and wondered how his orders to stay away from that building might have directly affected the response of the deputies. We are keeping an eye on politics for you. Today, Democratic gubernatorial nominee Andrew Gillum will be announcing his running mate. The Tallahassee mayor will be announcing his lieutenant governor at 10 o'clock live on Facebook. And Gillum's Republican challenger, Congressman Ron DeSantis, has already announced his running mate for lieutenant governor. It's Miami State Representative Jeanette Nunez. She is the first Cuban-American woman to be chosen as a lieutenant governor candidate. She served in the Florida House for 8 years. DeSantis will be campaigning with her in Little Havana today. In Orlando, Florida Republicans are holding a unity rally for all statewide candidates and a visit from Vice President Pence. Governor Scott, Congressman Ron DeSantis, Matt Caldwell, Ashley Moody, and Jimmy Patronis will all be there, including AG Commissioner Adam Putnam and Attorney General Pam Bondi. This will be similar to the unity rally Democrats held last week in Orlando. The general election is just 61 days away. Whatever questions you have about the candidates, we've got answers for you. Log on to WTSP.com/EyeOnPolitics. We have everything you need to know before you make your vote. The new red tide map is out and some progress has been made. But how long will it last? Happy Friday Eve, everybody. Hopefully you are having a good start to your day. We're going to get your day started. Look at this cool shot of New York City. It's a beautiful skyline there. One World Trade right in the middle. Temperature there is 77 degrees right now. Wouldn't that be nice? Have it be just a little bit cooler outside.
Probably a little less humid, too.
Less humid would be nice, for sure. So as you wake up this morning, here are a few stories that you need to know. Hillsborough County Board of Commissioners will meet today. It's developing a policy for the management of the county and will provide direction to the county administrator on any programs for the improvement of the county and the welfare of the people who live there. In Lakeland, one of the swans that survived being hit by a car will be released today. Just in the last month, 5 swans died by getting hit by cars. So the city of Lakeland has lowered the speed limit to 25 to try and prevent any more accidents. And check out this depression. This is in Pasco County. While it may look like a sinkhole, right now officials are not calling it that. This depression is entirely on private land, so what happens next is all up to the insurance companies of the property owners. The depression is 40 to 50 feet across. It's 20 to 25 feet deep. The houses appear to be okay. Both are deemed unsafe for now, though. Owners are allowed to go in. They can go in at their own risk, but they cannot stay there until the county lifts the unsafe designation. FWC will release another red tide map. That's coming up tomorrow. The good news is we're seeing some improvement, though. This is the map the agency released yesterday. It shows the bloom being broken up. The high concentration that was off the Pinellas County shore isn't there anymore, but it is offshore of Hillsborough. And people are still reporting respiratory problems in Manatee and Sarasota counties and fish kills in Pinellas, Manatee, and Sarasota County. So a little bit of good news there.
A little bit of good news. Yeah, I mean, it's not
Still
getting worse,
watching it.
right?
Right.
I mean, there's still issues, still reports of fish kills, still some respiratory issues. Let me take you down a little bit closer. This is a map that we hand analyze here in the weather department, so we kind of get a better idea of exactly who is dealing with these conditions. So there's that high concentration of red tide. If you follow that line of Hillsborough County, that's why it says Hillsborough County still has that offshore concentration of red tide. Still some medium concentrations of red tide across Pinellas County, but Manatee County, gosh, you guys are looking great. I mean, you think back to a couple of weeks ago where we had those high concentrations of red tide there on Anna Maria and then down the coast. Sarasota still dealing with it from those medium concentrations, but the high concentrations of red tide are much, much reduced from what we saw a couple of weeks ago. So good news there. Again, like Allison said, we'll get another update from FWC, their full weekly update tomorrow afternoon. Go to our website, WTSP.com/red tide, and get that update right there for you. Mostly clear skies in downtown Tampa right now. Looking good. Mostly clear conditions, but the humidity that is present. 88% relative humidity. Feels like temps now at 83. Satellite radar gives us mostly clear skies this morning, so looking good out there as we check conditions. There are a few showers and storms off the coast of the Atlantic. That is on the western fringe of an area of low pressure. In the upper levels, an upper level low pressure system that will move to the Bahamas today. We've got dry air slotted across Tampa Bay this morning, so that gives us sunshine to start, and then we'll begin to see that chance for afternoon storms. This upper level low, as it moves to the west, will bring us a better chance for scattered afternoon showers and storms as we go into Friday and Saturday. Here's the plan for today. Sunshine to start. In fact, sunshine through the first part of our day. An isolated shower or two possible through lunchtime. And then you know the drill. Scattered showers and storms. A 40% chance of rain today. We'll see a few storms linger later this evening because of that upper level low moving in. But again, we'll find more coverage with those showers and storms tomorrow afternoon. Let's talk tropics. We've got Hurricane Florence in the middle of the Atlantic. Meanwhile, Tropical Depression Gordon just spinning through Louisiana and Arkansas this morning. Hurricane Florence was a Cat 4 yesterday. Now it's a Category 3 hurricane. Relatively small in size, but potent. Wind speeds now at 115 miles per hour. Let me show you why we're talking about this. One, because I want to show you it doesn't look like it impacts us here in Florida. But two, as we get into next week, it looks like it stays a major hurricane and beyond that cone of uncertainty, so going beyond 5 days. Forecast models are now beginning to show it looks like there's a possibility the East Coast needs to keep an eye on this system. So I've got the American model, the GFS in white. I've got the European model in yellow. They are in agreement, at least fairly good agreement through the 5-day forecast. But as we get into next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, watch what happens. Starting to approach the Carolinas, if not the mid-Atlantic, into the northeast. The European model has it making landfall in North Carolina. The American model taking it to the north and east. So something to watch for sure for them. If you've got friends and family up that way, say, hey guys, start watching the weather forecast because it looks like you might have a hurricane heading in your direction. Obviously, that's a long way out. Things can still change with that forecast, and they will change as we go into next week. Our forecast looks pretty good, pretty typical. 40% chance of afternoon storms today, 60% chance of storms on Friday and Saturday, and then we'll see actually smaller rain chances as we go into the beginning of next week. Monday and Tuesday, 30% chance of rain with high temps right around 90 degrees. All right, that's it for me. Hillary, what's going on this morning?
Hey, so pretty quiet. Yeah, we're not dealing
good.
with any crashes early on, which is great news.
That's great.
So let me help you with some travel times. How's that sound?
Please do.
All right,
I need all the help I can get.
Yeah, exactly, because your morning commute is so hard, Grant.
Yes, I
oh my
call
gosh.
you at 2 in the morning.
Exactly.
Hillary, what's up on the roads?
All
Two
right.
people? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All right, 275 at Gandy Boulevard, our first live look here in Pinellas County. It is taking you 9 minutes between the Skyway Bridge and Gandy Boulevard here, and you're not going to run into a crash, you're not going to run into a broken down car or any construction. And then once you hop onto the Howard Franklin Bridge, you're good to go. Now, if you're heading into Tampa, or maybe you're about to leave in Tampa to head out the door, I-4 is quiet now, but one of the hot spots that really picks up very first out of any interstate in Tampa Bay. So I-4 right now going towards 275 is taking you 8 minutes from 75 to 275. I did time this out for our traffic ahead forecast, and in an hour and a half, it looks like your travel time will be at 9 minutes, which is only a 1 minute delay. But I'm going to guess after that, it's going to get pretty busy. About 15 minutes is what we typically see along the I-4 corridor there. Let's take a look in Manatee County. Just wanted to remind you of this construction that has shut down the 275 southbound ramp to northbound 75, and this is going to be an issue for months. So again, you'll use US 41 just before that, and that affects you if you're coming off the Sunshine Skyway Bridge and trying to head north. Quickly here in Valrico and Brandon, seeing some slowdowns on State Road 60 between Parsons Avenue and Dover Road.
Do you love driving your electric car? Well, Sean Stryker has the place that you can celebrate yours, and if you're thinking about getting one, you can get all those questions answered. So whether it's to save money at the pump or maybe you're doing it for the environment, electric vehicles are becoming really popular. And if you've been thinking about wanting to get one, there is a place that you can go and you can get all of your questions answered by people who own electric vehicles right now. And Brightside's Sean Stryker is going to tell you all about it. He's in Newport Richey this morning. Nice. Look at him. He's up on an electric bike, I'm assuming. That's what you're checking out. You're doing a pretty good job.
Thanks. Yeah, it's hard to talk and ride bikes, but like you said, it is an electric bike because the electric vehicle tailgate, it's not just about cars, all different types of electric vehicles. Of course, they do have cars, golf carts, and electric bikes. Okay, let me stop here before I run into the car. This is, let me pause this down here because I don't want it to take off. Go, Caroline with the electric bike company. So electric bikes are a good form or alternative form of transportation.
They are. So Pedego electric bikes are great to use around your house or around town. 40% of commuting from your home is to your grocery store or to the shop, and it's within a 2-mile radius. So this is a great way to get around. You don't have to worry about parking. It's free. You don't have an ID. Insurance is a great way to get around and get some exercise and get a little bit of help.
The coolest thing is it's a lot of fun to ride. As you can see, you just kind of hop on. They actually will help you pedal if you want to pedal. So if you run out of batteries, you can still go. Or you could just spin the handle and go. The mayor of Newport Richey, Mayor Marlowe, drives an electric vehicle himself. Electric vehicles are really big here in Newport Richey.
And becoming bigger every day. The city is set up for use with electric vehicles. We have 3 city charging stations, plus the hospital has one. And there's a lot of excitement about it. Every day I see more cars.
So you drive the Prius.
That's
was
correct.
it hard to make the switch?
No, it was not. It's a plug-in Prius, so it runs on battery for about 10 miles before the engine kicks in. My son left it here when he went on deployment, and I've been enjoying it ever since.
You've been enjoying it. Okay, very cool. Well, what do you say? You guys want to go for a ride in the golf cart?
Sure.
I like to ride the different vehicles. Obviously, cars are really cool, but let's hop in here and go for a ride. There's a couple different events going on in the Bay Area. Obviously, the one here in Newport Richey is this weekend. There's one in Sarasota as well. That's on Saturday. But it's the electric vehicle tailgate. It kicks off National Drive Electric Week.
Oh.
Do you guys think you could drive an electric vehicle? I think I could. I think it makes me feel like I'm saving the environment.
Absolutely.
And, of course, save money at the pump.
Quieter, and you don't have to pay for gas.
Be careful, Sean.
I mean, get a bunch of your friends together.
Don't be distracted driving.
Where does one drive in a golf cart at 5:26 in the morning?
Wherever you want.
Okay, bye, Sean.
I mean, that's pretty cool. There's a bunch of different vehicles. The bike and the car. I was thinking maybe just at first it was going to be for cars, but there are so many options.
You don't even think about the bike.
No.
I'm always jealous of the people when they're cruising around on those electric bikes and they're not pedaling. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, something's up here.
That's a good way to get around.
All right, very cool. We'll check in with Sean coming up a little bit later. So first, it is a book on the Trump presidency. Now fractions within his cabinet. Does President Trump have a traitor?
A lot of ways to describe this morning.
Yeah,
right?
bad hair day.
Or disgusting, because it's so humid, right? We will see a lot of sunshine as we go through the morning. That morning workout, I mean, you're going to sweat regardless of how hard you work out, right?
Hopefully, unless you're on an electric bike, I don't know.
I mean, it's just so humid, though. You probably sweat as well. But hey, temperatures around 79 degrees. We will see the chance of storms later on this afternoon.
Yeah, if you step outside and you're like, I need to take a shower immediately.
Yep.
This is I-4 just east of Mango Road, and things are looking good here. Grant says it's really muggy out, so that might even be why we see a little bit of a haze on a lot of our cameras this morning. It's not fog, though.
Something all parents need to be aware of. Schools in Tampa Bay testing positive for lead in the water. President Trump calling the explosive New York Times op-ed treasonous and is demanding the newspaper name their source. You guys are right. You're going to walk outside this morning and just be drenched in that humidity.
I know.
It's not a good hair day if you're outside.
Stay inside the second you go out there.
Ponytail.
Always feels better than the AC.
Exactly. It is Thursday, September 6th. You are up with Brightside. We've had several schools in our area testing and finding high levels of lead in the water. There's no law forcing districts to test, but it's a precaution that some are taking anyway. Brightside's Emerald Morrow is live in studio this morning. And Emerald, now if you have kids in Polk County schools, you need to pay attention to this because we're going to get a major update on the drinking water.
Yeah, Allison, that is right. We should get new test results today from 4 schools that tested positive for lead. And the schools in question are Cleveland Court Academy, Elementary, Winston Academy of Engineering, Inwood Elementary, and Union Academy. And all 4 of those schools, they were built before 1986, which is the year that lead pipes were no longer allowed in schools. Now, the district says it is testing all 150 of its schools and learning centers, and it will test the oldest ones first, since those are more likely to have some sort of lead problem. And if results come back above 15 parts per billion, the district will replace the fixtures and pipes causing the problem so your kid is not exposed to lead, which of course can cause serious problems in the nervous system. Now, the district will be holding a news conference this morning at 10:30 to go over the results for those schools, and we will, of course, let you know what those results are. Now, if they are above the allowable limit, then the district will provide students with bottled drinking water as a safety precaution.
Hillary's been keeping an eye on the traffic cameras this morning. There isn't a ton of fog, if we could even call it that. It's really just as temperatures cool, we're seeing some low cloud cover develop. It's patchy fog. Zephyr Hills, visibility down to 3 miles in eastern Pasco County. Otherwise, not finding much. Typically, we'll see some fog develop in the Temple Terrace area. Visibility is down to 5. Not an issue. Really, it's just that low cloud cover, maybe some of just that moisture pooling there near the surface as temperatures drop. It's humid. You'll feel that humidity this morning. It's almost like you can see the humidity. That's kind of how it's developing right now. Otherwise, mostly clear skies. We've got some showers and storms off the coast. Those will be something that we'll focus on later, really into tomorrow, but we'll see a chance for some afternoon showers and storms today. Mostly sunny to start with that area of patchy fog or two. 86 by lunchtime, and then a 30% chance for scattered showers and storms for the ride home later on today. Remember, you can get our forecast on the radio. Our radio partners are the Dove 105.5, the Eagle 107.3, Hitland 106.9 in Sarasota, and Magic 94.9.
And here's a little bit of that cloud cover that Grant was just talking about. This is I-4 east of Mango Road. You can sort of see it off in the distance here. And really, at least at this point, it's not slowing down traffic at all. Not that bad. But your travel time here is 15 minutes from Polk Parkway in Lakeland over to 75 in Tampa. And just know that you could run into a little bit of some low cloud cover. That's about it. And again, our cameras are so high up that we usually tend to see it worse on the cameras. Here's Hillsborough County, where we have an issue with traffic signals. Nebraska Avenue at Waters Avenue, the signals aren't working here. They're either on flash or they're black. So you have crews trying to fix this before a morning commute. So far this morning, you'll just want to treat this as a 4-way stop.
By now, you have heard about the New York Times op-ed against President Trump. Well, this morning, everyone is questioning who the senior Trump aide is behind the anonymous opinion piece titled, "I am part of the resistance inside the Trump administration." The Times is defending its decision to grant the author anonymity, saying their job would be in jeopardy if his or her identity were known. And President Trump seemed to confirm that in a series of tweets. He tweeted a one-word question, treason, and then called for the paper to turn over its source. In the op-ed, the author claims the president's impulsiveness results in half-baked, ill-informed, and occasionally reckless decisions, and that unsung heroes have gone to great lengths to keep bad decisions contained to the West Wing.
This is what all of us have understood to be the situation from day one.
Those of us who've been around him in moments when he's lost it understand that you don't want to be in the room and hear what he has to say, and God forbid, be in the room when he's about to make a terrible decision that will hurt this country.
The op-ed came a day after reports of a new book by Bob Woodward titled Fear. It expressed similar efforts by staff to tame the president's actions. President Trump has called the book a work of fiction. Now, that op-ed lit up the network news and even late-night shows. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert had former Secretary of State John Kerry as a guest. So when he was asked about the op-ed, Kerry didn't hold back.
You're not supposed to have people stealing things off the desk of the president. You're not supposed to have a resistance within the White House to prevent your president from breaking the law or doing something that's irrational and dangerous.
Kerry went on to say that he has also been troubled and heard troubles that members of Congress aren't defending the Constitution, that they are just defending the party and president. More protesters were arrested during day 2 of Supreme Court Justice nominee Brett Kavanaugh's hearing. Today, he returns to the hot seat. On Wednesday, the Senate Judiciary Committee hammered Kavanaugh with questions, but he did not answer a potentially very important question, whether President Trump could avoid being subpoenaed by special counsel Robert Mueller.
President Trump claims he has an absolute right to pardon himself, does he?
The question of self-pardons is something I've never analyzed.
Senators had 30 minutes each to press the 53-year-old. Kavanaugh's stance on a woman's right to have an abortion has been a focus since he was nominated. He told Democrat Dianne Feinstein Roe v. Wade is an important precedent of the court. There were also several protesters. Capitol Police say 73 people were arrested. 10 people were taken to the hospital after getting sick on a plane that landed at JFK on Wednesday morning. 19 people said that they felt sick with flu-like symptoms during that flight. Medical staff checked every passenger and crew member before letting them off the plane. The Airbus with more than 500 passengers was on board. It was isolated from the terminal. Many on board wondered what was going on. They posted pictures and videos on social media, including the rapper Vanilla Ice.
Paramedics and everything, they checked our temperature. They made us fill out a health report. And I'm just like, wow, what is going on?
7 of the 10 in the hospital are crew members. 9 refused medical care. Food poisoning was originally thought to be what was causing all of this, but officials now suspect some of the passengers boarded the plane with the flu. A condo building known as the Leaning Tower of San Francisco may be leaning just a little bit more. People who live at the Millennium Tower say that they heard creaking sounds and then a popping noise around 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. Can you even imagine? One person then found a crack in a window of his unit. This was in the corner of this 58-story high-rise. Now, while city officials aren't worried about the building collapsing, they are concerned about falling debris.
This is the most congested part of downtown. As you know, it's across the street from the Salesforce Tower. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people there all day long.
So city officials have blocked off part of the sidewalk just to be safe. They've ordered management to report back on the extent of the problem and the soundness of the building's facade. The tower has settled about 16 inches into landfill and it's tilting. Homeowners have filed several lawsuits against the developer and the city. There's Army strong and Navy strong, but what about FBI strong? The federal agency is open to hire, but you have to pass the fitness test first. Good morning, I'm Allison Croft for Rob Finnerty. Time now is 5:42. Here are your Thursday headlines. Tech stocks dropped on Wall Street yesterday after congressional testimony from Facebook and Twitter executives about efforts to prevent foreign interference in American politics. Facebook dropped just over 2%, while Twitter shares fell about 6%. TripAdvisor has named its top museums for tourists. Ranking number 1 in the U.S. is the 9/11 Memorial in New York City. The Le Musée d'Orsay in Paris took worldwide honors. Disney World employees are voting today on whether to accept a new contract that would raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, if that contract is ratified, each Disney worker at Disney World in Orlando will get a $1,000 bonus that other employees received after last year's congressional tax cut.
Let us take that digital dive now to see some of the best stories that are trending on social media right now. There's a high-end fashion designer that says it is going to stop destroying millions of dollars of its own clothes. Check this out. Burberry, many of you excited to hear about this because they're going to stop the practice of destroying the unsold items. You might remember back in July, it was a big outrage over the company burning nearly $38 million of their clothing and perfume. They were trying to keep it from flooding the market at a discount, and they want to keep their styles and everything all exclusive.
Well, it's expensive, so...
Yeah, people were pretty upset about this. Burberry announced that it's all part of the company's commitment now to reuse, repair, recycle, or donate any unsealable items in an effort to reduce waste.
Good.
People are very happy about this decision. All right, sticking with high fashion, Teen Vogue showcasing some new models. They are featuring 3 young women in this month's issue. All of them have different disabilities.
Wow, that's awesome.
I love this. This girl you're looking at right here, Chelsea Warner, a gymnast and model with Down syndrome. She's proclaiming she is strong and proud and has been trying to get into modeling for years. Teen Vogue finally giving her a chance to do that. This is Jillian Mikado. She has spastic muscular dystrophy, and she believes that there's still a long way to go for the fashion industry, but she said, you know, there wasn't anyone who looked like me in any magazines or any mainstream media.
So empowering.
It really is. And then this is Mama Cakes. She's a blogger, model, amputee, and disability advocate. She also says there are so many people with physical disabilities who buy those products and never see themselves represented in any way. Aerie recently did a campaign like this, a Real Women campaign. I love it because I have a teenage daughter. I love it that they can see that you are perfect just the way you are.
Absolutely.
And when Teen Vogue tells you that too, it helps. It helps mom's case.
I'm
you
sure
know?
it does.
When mom says it, like, Mom, come on, you have to love me. Anyway. All right, finally. All right, guys, would you eat this? It's pizza made with mustard instead of sauce.
What?
I mean, I like mustard.
But listen to this. Okay, this is in a restaurant in New Jersey. It's Detroit-style pizza, so it's a deep dish. So you've got the crust, you've got the Dijon mustard, they put corned beef on it, a little bit of sauerkraut, and then a ton of cheese.
I'm thinking a pretzel.
Yeah, well, it's basically like a hot sandwich.
Yeah.
If you think about it. I mean, and the girl in this video, she tried it. She said she was really surprised by it. I'm all in on this one. Plus, I'm hungry right now.
Oh my gosh, I was just going to say that. I'll eat anything right now. I'm starving.
That looks
Let's
really,
do it.
Bring it on.
really good. All right, those are your trending stories right now.
So can we try that? I mean, can we figure out how we
Make
get that
one.
done?
We should make that, yes.
Why not, right? I mean, it sounds easy enough. Let's do it. I think we should do that. Maybe for tomorrow, for Friday. We'll figure out how to make that happen. All right, guys, good morning. We're waking up under mostly clear skies this morning. There are a few spots of some, it's not really fog, it's just kind of that moisture, those water particles hanging out in the atmosphere this morning in some areas, mainly up towards Land O'Lakes and the Zephyr Hills area. But otherwise, we are finding mainly clear skies. Temperatures around 79 in Tampa. Relative humidity is at 88%. So really what you're looking out into this morning, and if you see anything in the air, it's the humidity. Not technically, but it's the way it is. A lot of moisture in the atmosphere this morning. A few showers and storms rolling off the Atlantic this morning, and that's what we'll likely see develop later on this afternoon. But here's what's going to hold the rain off for us, at least through the first part of our day. A nice little band of dry air passing across Tampa this morning, and that's going to give us plenty of sunshine. This upper level low, not so much an impact on us today, but it will begin to bring us a better chance for those scattered showers and storms as we go through Friday and into Saturday. Watch here on the Futurecast. So there's all the rain associated with that upper level low pressure system moving through the Bahamas. Meanwhile, there's that slot of dry air. Sunshine through the first part of the day. We will then see a few isolated showers rolling from the east with that easterly flow, mainly out into eastern Polk County. 40% chance for scattered storms for us today. Meanwhile, partly cloudy skies this afternoon, temps up around 92. Now, a few of those storms hang around a little longer tonight because of that upper level low beginning to move in from the east. But if you look closely, you'll see that little bit of rotation from that upper level low in those showers. That's what brings us that better chance for a few more scattered showers and storms tomorrow. 60% chance of rain mainly through the afternoon, Friday into Saturday. That low will move out, and then we'll see smaller rain chances for us as we go into Sunday and Monday of next week. Allergy forecast, no real changes there. Low to medium pollen count as we go through the next few days. Let's talk about Hurricane Florence. A lot on the map here. Tropical depression Gordon just brings a lot of rainfall through the central plains into the Midwestern states. But Hurricane Florence is at least the immediate concern, not so much for us here in Florida, but potentially for the East Coast. Major hurricane maybe drops down to a Cat 2 as we go through the first part of the weekend. It's forecast to become a Cat 3 once again into Tuesday. Some of the forecast models do take it toward the East Coast as something to watch towards the middle and second half of next week. If not a direct impact, maybe just indirect impacts. After that, we've got our next tropical wave, now Invest 92L, a 90% chance that that develops into a tropical storm over the next 5 days. That would become Tropical Storm Helene. Forecast models take it into the central Atlantic, and then we'll see from there. But right now, it doesn't look like it's going to pose any threat to anyone over at least the next week or so. Behind that, our next tropical wave, it's lining up. It's like a train out there. 50% chance that this system develops as we go through the next 5 days as well. So a lot to keep an eye on, a lot to keep us busy here in the weather department. But in the meantime, things are all calm for us. Only a 40% chance of storms this afternoon. 92 degrees this afternoon. I mean, your 7-day forecast, honestly, is not all that bad. Just a slightly better chance of rain through the afternoon on Friday and Saturday. We'll drop the chance of rain into Sunday. We'll drop it even more for the beginning of next week. 30% chance of storms for both Monday and Tuesday. There's a lot on that map, wasn't there, Hillary? I mean, the tropics, my goodness.
You know, when you look at it, you just hope that nothing comes our way.
Right.
But
you have to remember, the Atlantic Ocean is a big ocean.
Exactly.
And there's a whole lot of nothing out there, and that means there's a whole lot of space for these systems to dissipate and curve off and not pose any threat to us.
That's a really good point. They have a long way to go for it to either move direction or dissipate before it comes to us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we love getting updates every day, Grant, so we really appreciate that.
That's what we're here for.
You know, a lot of us have obviously some anxiety from what happened last year, so it's helpful just to know every day what's going on and what's happening out there. All right, so State Road 60, let's talk about it here in Polk County between Bartow and Lake Wales. You see this little delay heading westbound. There is a crash here on State Road 60 at Alturas Road. Speeds down to 47 miles per hour, so not a big delay, but it looks like this crash is blocking a lane there in the westbound direction. Ooh, look at that, it just turned green, so it looks like it might have been moved off to the shoulder as I was speaking. Here's Hillsborough County. We have a couple of issues. First of all, just a reminder of a water main break in South Tampa on Hyde Park Avenue between Platt Street and Azeel Street. And then we still have that traffic signal issue just to the east of I-275 here, north of downtown, at the intersection of Nebraska Avenue and Waters Avenue. So you'll want to treat that as a four-way stop until crews can get those signals fixed, and hopefully it happens before rush hour, which really hasn't started yet, as you can see here along I-4 in downtown Tampa. That travel time still 8 minutes between 75 and 275.
Facing an applicant shortage, the FBI is now doing its best to help recruits pass the hardest part of the entrance exam, the physical test. The Bureau is launching an app to help applicants train, and anyone can use it.
Y'all excited?
A little nervous. It's the same physical test applicants to the FBI must pass before they become agents.
4-event test. First event is sit-ups, followed by a 300-meter sprint, push-ups, and then a 1.5-mile run.
This tends to be the area that creates the most challenge for applicants.
Start.
Half of FBI applicants fail the physical test, so the FBI has created an app to help you get ready.
Stand by. Start.
The physical requirements are slightly different for men and women. The better you perform, the more points you get. You need to score at least a 12 to get in.
Push it, push it.
Push it. Good job.
107.
Nice. 4 categories later.
And Marianne, 30 sit-ups, you got 0, 107 in the sprint was 0, 21 push-ups for 2, and a 14.27 for a 1.5 mile is 0, 2 points. So you need 12 points. You probably just pick up the runs a little more. You should get there.
So what you're saying is I'm not fit enough to be an FBI agent?
You're going to get a nod ready for new agents training today.
After all that, I am not physically fit enough to pass the FBI's test. But if you think you are, the FBI is hiring. They say in general they're looking for women and minorities.
Did they say what the app is?
FBI fit test.
Oh, you've got it.
He's already downloading it. He wants to try it out to see how he can do.
I'm just curious.
But yeah, I'm curious too. Let us know when you try it how many points you get, because I want to know.
I'm really curious.
You'll probably
pass
get
2.
I know.
No,
you'll
be fine.
I'm sure you're way fit.
You'll ace the running portion, that's for sure. So will you.
Well,
Maybe I'll do okay
know.
on the push-ups. I don't know.
I don't know how many you got to do. We need to download the app, we'll get training.
Yes.
We'll see how it goes.
Policy.
Definitely sounds interesting for sure. Happy Friday Eve, everybody. Let's get your day going. Let's take you out to Chicago's Wrigley Field this morning. Look at this, nice and quiet.
Good day for a ball game.
Here it would be nice and hot outside, huh?
Well, that's why we have the drop.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're inside. We're going to get a check it out forecast coming up in 3 minutes. Stick around.
Can we post this?
He's been over there, doing some push-ups.
The story we had right before the commercial break talking about the test that you have to have to become an FBI agent.
We were just talking about if we could do 30 sit-ups in a minute.
Yeah, 35 in order to get 1 point.
You guys could.
Gosh, you would be going like, that's so fast. Speedmeister.
Try it out during the next commercial break. Let us know how you do.
Please.
Yeah.
We need to find a link to post this. All right, let's go to what camera are we on? 92 degrees this afternoon. Just go to the 7-day. Make it easier. 40% chance for those afternoon storms. 91 tomorrow. Better rain chances for the afternoon on Friday and Saturday. Still sunshine in the morning, especially Saturday morning. Sunday, a good-looking day. Just a few afternoon storms. Next week, even drier. Smaller rain chances for Monday and Tuesday.
Time now is 5:56. Bright Side is coming up next. Stick around.